If you were to CGI my moustache out of this, do you think it'd be obvious? Do you think you'd be able to notice?
Come together right now over me.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Welcome to Otaku Chris is Talking, and this is a review for Justice League. Now, I just want to quickly say this will be a spoiler-free review, so you can feel free to check out this review knowing that there will be no spoilers or anything that will let you know what's going on with the plots or anything in the movie. But at the end of this review, I will just have a quick little moment where I'll have spoilers, but I'll let you know before that happens. So feel free to just enjoy this, and when the notification happens, you will know. If you are new to my channel, please do subscribe, as I make regular videos, reviews, anime, otaku stuff, you know, all this kind of the regular nerdy stuff, which you may or may not be interested in. If you are and you do like this video, do give me a thumbs up, share it, like it, all that good stuff. I want to keep it short and sweet because I'm going to be sure most of you guys have seen Justice League, so I don't really want to kind of go over the same beats that you guys might have seen in other reviews. But what I do want to talk about is first the bad, just so I can just get that out the way. And I can honestly say the first act of this movie did feel very, I don't know, felt rushed, felt choppy. And what's really weird is I just recently watched Thor Ragnarok a couple weeks ago, and I was hoping to like Justice League more because I actually have Justice League the New 52 one, as well as the DC Golden Age book, which is full of information of the Justice League. And yeah, so I was really pumped. So I want to start with just the first act. The first act was really choppy. Like literally, it felt like a minute with a character, a minute with another character, a minute with another character. And most of the scenes that we saw, which were kind of the characterization scenes, we saw in the trailers. There weren't really anything new, and that kind of disappointed me a little bit because I was expecting to see a bit more with certain characters. And I was like, but we did get to see a bit more with other characters. But I was like, okay, cool. Another thing as well was that I felt like the threat wasn't that deep. Obviously, Steppenwolf was very powerful, and yeah, he showed it. We needed the whole Justice League to just fight this one guy by himself. So that was the only dire situation. But apart from that, I didn't really feel like there was any real stakes at hand. And there was only like one family that they kind of spent following the whole time. And they kind of explained why, and I do get it, but I don't know, man. It didn't really feel anywhere near as intense as Man of Steel, when like everyone was like literally buildings are falling over, people are running away and all that kind of stuff. And you really felt like, oh shit. And then Batman vs Superman, when you get to see even more depth of how peak the situation was. In this, it didn't really feel that peak. Maybe one scene with the Amazonians felt quite peak, but apart from that, I don't know, I didn't really feel like I was like, oh my god, I hope they survive. Another thing as well was the use of CGI in certain parts really felt kind of weird. I'm not going to go into too much depth as to what the main thing bothered me was. I will use that at the end of this video with the spoiler part, when I'll explain what bothered me throughout the whole movie. And for you guys who've seen it, I'm sure it's going to be the same part. But yeah, there's one thing that kept on coming up. I was like, I can't look past that. I can see it. This is bothering me. This is really bothering me. There were also other certain moments where the CGI was actually quite iffy as well. I don't know. Maybe it was because of there's loads of reds. And if you've seen the trailer, you would have seen a scene where like Aquaman's kind of falling from the sky on some parademons, and it's all really like dark red and grey and yellow and all that kind of stuff. Like that looked a bit CGI-y, and I didn't understand why it looked like that in the trailers, and I understand why it does in the movie, and you kind of see why, but that also did bother me a bit. What didn't bother me as much was Cyborg's CGI. That actually looked kind of decent, didn't look too bad, and actually managed to actually be okay. Reminded me slightly of RoboCop-ish, but wasn't too bad. Okay, what I really did enjoy about this was the second act. The second act was emotional. Once we had the Justice League actually come together, I was really happy to see them actually just work together and actually go forward and do what they needed to do. And you got to see their strength and how they communicate and how they work together. I know I said work together twice, but they really did work together. And I feel like this is something that may kind of put it just above the Avengers. Now, I know some of you guys will be like, what, above the Avengers? But yeah, I feel like the teamwork and the camaraderie was actually pretty cool. And if they manage to keep this in the future Justice League movies, then I feel like it would definitely work very, very well. But just need to sort out the tone a bit, because the tone did feel a bit all over the place. But by the second act really stood out. And there's a scene with the Flash, and yeah, that was that's really, really cool. Also, stick around for the end scene as well, because there's also another scene at the end where you're like, oh, and then there's a second end scene, and you're like, oh. But I feel like the second end scene was mostly for comic book fans. I'll talk about that briefly at the end of this review. One of the parts of Justice League which I thought really worked well was Wonder Woman. She really stole the show. I felt like she was the MVP. She really carried it. And I know you saw a lot of Batman in the trailers, but I feel like Wonder Woman's scenes when she did her moments, they really did shine. And especially in the first act, whereas Autopia was kind of like, but Wonder Woman's kind of like her backstory-ish, not really backstory, you kind of got to see what she was up to after the Wonder Woman movie. Her moment was actually super cool, and I was like, hey! And it was actually one of the best moments. And she had some awesome fight scenes in the middle section as well, which really stood out. And she really went against Steppenwolf, and you kind of think to yourself, wait a second, if she wasn't there, then I don't really know how the Justice League would actually handle it. So that was pretty interesting. But Wonder Woman definitely stole the show. Everyone did really, really well. I actually liked Cyborg a lot. I thought at first that maybe his voice and his kind of like his coldness would bother me, but by the end you kind of get why. Not by the end, but you get why. And at the end you get used to it, and you get used to the characters, and the characters really grow with you, which is why I can't wait for the DVD so we can actually have the full length, because 2 hours was definitely not enough. Warner Brothers, what were you doing? We definitely needed it to be a 3-hour movie, because it's not like it's Batman vs Superman where it's 2 characters and one of them we've already got the movie and it's a 3.5-hour movie. No, this is like a bunch of characters being built up, and most of the build-ups were pretty much already in the trailer. So that was one of my main gripes. By the second act, it worked very well. Oh, I forgot to mention another thing that I really didn't kind of feel for was Steppenwolf. He didn't. Once again, superhero movies, they need to learn how to make villains. The villains in superhero movies are quite dead, and I can honestly say, if you remove Steppenwolf, obviously we needed a reason why, but the Parademons were doing bad enough anyway, so it's kind of like Steppenwolf was kind of like an extra threat on top that you needed for the final act, which I can say I really did enjoy because of a certain something that happens. But overall, the middle act, I can actually say the middle act was actually better than the final scene. There's a fight scene in the middle where you're like, whoa! And I really, really enjoyed that, more than the actual final fight scene in itself. Barry Allen, he definitely added a nice tone to this that we really missed from the DC universe, because the Marvel universe, the cinematic universe of Marvel, they have a lot of humor, and they managed to balance it out. For Ragnarok, let's not even go into that with the humor, but a lot of people were saying that with Batman vs Superman, way too dark, with Man of Steel, way too dark, and Wonder Woman was the point where it started to just get a little bit lighter. And finally, one thing that I thought really, really worked out well was integrating all their stories together and bringing in the different DC characters and their backstories, and knowing that it's going to be leading onto future movies. Now, normally that can be a bit like, we get it, you're going to make another movie. But they did it so subtly, and it's like, I actually preferred it more than how they did it in loads of other comic book hero movies. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but I really did enjoy that. So overall, I can say the movie was a lot of fun. The first act was a bit choppy, a bit screwy. I really did wish they had a bit more characterization with the rest of the Justice League, but overall a lot of fun. I feel like people are going to enjoy it. It's not too long, so everyone can enjoy it and they can watch it, whether it's for family gatherings, and time will fly by and you will wish that you had more Justice League. What were your thoughts on this movie? Were there any parts that really stood out to you where you kind of like, oh, I really loved that, or were you like, did you find it boring? Did you find it too funny? Or like, are you happy with how it's being done? Overall, I enjoyed this movie. I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10, purely because I did enjoy it a lot, but the first act really weighed it down, and a couple of the CGI moments as well, and the lack of characterization kind of dropped it a bit. But the second act really pushed it to the top, where I was like, whoa! And the third act was pretty cool, but the villain as well, Steppenwolf, brought it back down again. So 7.5, some of the best moments would have brought it to an 8, but I'm going to be cool and give it 7.5. What about you guys? Out of 10, what would you give it? 10 being like the best movie you've ever seen. I'm saying 9.5 is The Dark Knight Rises. No. 9.5 out of 10 is The Dark Knight with the Joker and Heath Ledger. So that's the kind of scale I'm giving it in superhero movies. And like Logan and Deadpool, those are 9.5s and /10s out of 10s. So I'm going to give this movie, as I said, a 7.5. So yeah, if you are done, feel free, you can log off, you can just leave now. But if you've seen the movie and you want to just have a nice little brief chinwag about some spoilery bits, let's talk about this. This guy. I know y'all saw it too. I know y'all saw Green Lantern. I know that y'all saw the fight when they had the flashback with everybody, with the Atlanteans and Amazonians, and then they showed the lanterns, and then they showed the gods. I was like, whoa! I'm so happy that they showed that. That was fucking super sick. I literally fanboyed like mad. That was one scene which I was like, also the fight scene with Wonder Woman versus Superman. What the hell, man? She headbutts him, he headbutts her, she headbutts him, he fucking flies up, headbutts her. I'm like, nah, this is so cool. Oh my god, I'm having such a great time. But my favorite absolute scene was the Flash versus Superman. And no, not the race at the end. Yes, I know the race at the fucking end. I'm not talking about the cutscene. I'm talking about the scene where everyone versus Superman, because they're like, hey, we brought back Superman back to life, and then everyone is just getting fucked up by Superman. Cyborg's getting fucked up, Aquaman's getting fucked up, Wonder Woman's getting fucked up, Batman's getting fucked up, and the Flash is kind of like, I'm gonna just run around, and whilst he's in the Speed Force, all you see is. And you see in Barry Allen's face the sheer shock of what the fuck this guy can catch up with me. And what made it even more awesome was Superman froze everyone, and you see them all standing still whilst time has stopped during the Speed Force, and Superman is having a fight with the Flash during the Speed Force. That was so fucking awesome. Oh my god, I love that bit. Oh, I need to breathe. But yeah, just wanted to talk about that. There were a lot of other scenes, especially the very, very end scene in the cutscene with Deathstroke. I know y'all saw Deathstroke. And Lex Luthor, so that was pretty cool. So I'm hoping that they use that for Justice League 2, purely because I know Deathstroke is a major Batman villain. But if they use him for Man of Steel 2, that'd be kind of like, But Lex Luthor could possibly return for Man of Steel 2 for a brief cameo, and then kind of just come back with like his resolve for Justice League 2, which is what I think may happen. But yeah, overall, I hope you enjoyed this review. As I said previously, let me know your thoughts on the best parts of this movie. And yeah, who was your favourite character in the Justice League, and who was you rooting for? Wonder Woman was doing amazing. I definitely think she stole the show. What about yourselves? Anyways, guys, I'm going to go, but I hope you guys enjoy. Please do subscribe if you enjoy my content. Give me a like, a thumbs up, and feel free to join in on the comment box down below. Have a great day, guys. Peace. Oh, I briefly forgot to mention, the part of the CGI I was talking about was Superman's fucking moustache. Henry Cavill's moustache really bothered me because there was no moustache. It was just weird CGI around here. And I was quite close to the screen, so I was just looking at his moustache like, is there meant to be a moustache? What is that? Why does it look weird there? And throughout the whole movie, I was just kind of looking at his top lip, and it really, really bothered me. If anything, that was the worst CGI from the whole movie. Not even the background set, not even Cyborg. Fucking Henry Cavill's top lip. Anyways, peace.